With that, let's seal it with one big open mouth breath. Take a nice big inhale through your nose. Your back will rise and extend. Open mouth exhale. Let it go. From here, slowly begin to crawl your fingertips to the top right corner of your mat, extending them so long in front of you that your elbows rise off the ground, activating some of those shoulder and arm muscles. If you do this so much, you might even feel a left side oblique stretch, or at least left side shoulder stretch. And then crawl them back to center, reset, extend, 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 and then crawl them to the left, reaching your fingertips to the top left corner of your mat, getting a right side bend here. Nice and easy. Take it slow and gently, just warming up our body this morning. Crawl them back to center. Take one big inhale here. And then exhale, rise up to a seated pose, crisscross applesauce at the top of your mat. Whew. From here, we're going to do the same thing, reaching forward with our hands, extending ourselves over our legs, relaxing our neck down, reaching forward with the fingertips, feeling our glutes stretching. Nice and easy here. Find places to relax, maybe your jaw, your cheeks, your eyes, definitely your neck and head. Can you hinge yourself 1 inch further forward? From here, slowly crawl your fingertips to the top right corner of your mat, definitely feeling that left side back stretch here. Connecting back to your breath, to the sensations in your body. Crawl them 1 inch forward now that you're a little more stretched out on this side. Beautiful. Crawl your fingertips back to the center, take a quick spinal reset here, and then all the way to the left side here, feeling this on the right side obliques. Notice how the weight changes your glute stretch a little bit. Maybe one side feels a little more stretched than the other here. Big, big breath. Then crawl your fingertips back to center. Extend them even longer than you ever did before now that you're a little more flexible. And then begin to come to sit up. Bringing your hands to your hips, behind or right next to your butt, kind of behind your knees, preparing for these kind of butt lifts just to get us a little bit warm in class today. So I'm going to puff up my back and lift my butt just a few inches off the ground using my shoulder and wrist muscles to do so. I'm going to take a few of these here just to begin to warm up my core. On the exhale is when you crunch up, round your back like you're in cat pose, angry cat pose. Beginning to warm up the core, the shoulders, two vital components of yoga. Nice. We're here for 3. Come to stand on your knees in 2. And 1. Come to stand on your knees. So swing your legs around you. I'm going to face this way again so you can see me. You can either flex your toes or keep them on the ground, whatever feels best for you. We're preparing for some pretty intense back bends here. So reach your arms up nice and high. Get into this mountain pose from the knees up, shoulders down your back. Knit your triceps in by bringing your pinkies in towards one another. Engage the core. Get nice and tall here. Now slowly drop your right arm behind your back and begin to take this back bend here, lifting your chest up towards the ceiling while also pushing your hips forward. Maybe you make connection with that right hand and the right ankle or leg or foot, or maybe you don't. The goal here is just to engage into this really beautiful back bend. Take it as easy or as intensely as you would like. Make sure to engage your glutes here to avoid dumping any weight into that lower back. Maybe lifting your chin up nice and tall. Your body follows where your gaze goes. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, come back to stand in the neutral mountain pose. Take a big breath here. Reset. And then drop the left arm down and begin your ascension into the back bend here. Reaching up, looking up, bending back, engaging the glutes, the thighs, lifting the gaze towards the ceiling. This is a really intense one. Take a note of where you're feeling it in your hips and your abdomen. Sending your breath to places that need a little more attention today. You guys look great. One more breath. And slowly, one vertebrae at a time, rise back up to stand. Reset the mountain pose. And we're going to do the double back bend here. So drop both arms behind you and slowly hinge forward. Hinge your hips forward and your chest back. Maybe grabbing one hand in one leg and then reaching and grabbing the other. This is the double back bend here. Maybe if you feel very, very comfortable in this pose, you can begin to let your head go completely behind you, relaxing the neck down towards your spine. Maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you trace the gaze along your ceiling. We're here just for 4, 3. Come to sit on your heels in 2 and 1. Slowly rise back up to stand and then come to sit on your heels. Bringing one hand to your heart and the other to your stomach, closing your eyes for a second. Back bends bring up a lot of emotion. I was saying this last class, it's like offering ourselves to predators. Here's my neck, here's my chest and my heart and my stomach, our most vulnerable parts of our body. So it naturally brings up a sense of emotion and vulnerability. So take a minute to reconnect with yourself here. Reconnect with your breath and your heart beat. And while we're here, let's do some 3-part breathing. You can either leave your hands on your heart and your belly, or you can bring them to rest somewhere on your thighs. Wherever you are, close your eyes, exhale any stale air you have in your lungs. And we'll inhale for 3 on the bottom. 3, 2, 1. Inhale from the middle for 3, 2, 1. And from the upper chest, 3, 2, 1. Hold the inhale at the top for 3, 2, 1. Exhale from the chest for 3, 2, 1. Middle belly for 3, 2, 1. And lower belly for 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 3, 2, 1. Inhale from the bottom belly for 3, 2, 1. Middle ribs for 3, 2, 1. Upper chest for 3, 2, 1. Hold the top for 3, 2, 1. Big exhale from the chest for 3, 2, 1. Middle belly, 3, 2, 1. Lower belly, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 3, 2, 1. And now it's your turn to practice this breath on your own time. Meet me at the bottom when you're ready. When you reach the bottom of your breath, begin to slowly flutter open your eyes. Take in the space in front of you. See how the light is readjusting your gaze. And let's twist. Bring your right hand behind you, using your left hand to press into your right knee. Gaze behind you to add a little neck stretch into this. Avoid dumping into your back arm. You really want to engage your core and your back to really sit yourself upright here. Can you twist a little deeper by bending into that right arm? One breath here. And then release back to center, maybe swinging your arms all the way around to the opposite side, finding your right hand connecting to your left thigh or knee, gazing across your left shoulder. Again, sit up nice and tall, shoulders over hips, just using that right arm and your core and your back to twist. You're just using that left arm as a tripod stand, nothing more. One more breath. And then come back to center. Let's move on to tabletop pose. Come on your hands and knees, stacking your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Let's take some wrist stretches here. So move your fingers to the left and right side of your mat, palms facing down, moving left and right, opening up into the wrists. Let's move on quickly. Move the fingertips towards your knees so they're facing your knees. Again, palms face down, moving vertically up and down your mat. If this feels like a lot, stay here. But if your wrists are a little more open, let's flip the palms so they're facing up and your fingertips are facing one another. And take little circles. This is the more intense version when the palms are facing up. Again, if this feels really accessible to you, you've done wrist stretches with me this entire semester. Maybe you can play around with it. Maybe face your fingertips towards the top of your mat. Maybe face them both towards your knees. Again, all with the palms up. See how it feels a little differently, a little different sensation, finding little creaks and crannies that haven't been explored yet in your wrists. Just fool around with it. Maybe you flip your palms back down. The goal here is just to wake up your wrists. We spend a lot of time on our keyboards and in planks and yoga. So taking a minute to give them some love is really important. When you're ready, come flip your palms back down into the neutral tabletop pose. Bring your left hand to the center of your mat and reach that right arm nice and high into this twisting position. Move that right shoulder further back by maybe bending into the top arm. I'm noticing my hips are moving right, so I'm going to bump my hips further left. So you're moving your hips left and your right shoulder left. This is a pretty intense twist. Maybe you roll out your wrist here. Mine's cracking after doing all that wrist work. Maybe you gaze up to the top of your right hand. Keep moving that shoulder back and those hips to the left. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, thread the needle. Slowly guide that top arm through the hole created by your left arm and your legs, and come to relax your entire upper body on top of that right arm. Feel this amazing shoulder stretch. Whatever you want to do with your left arm is great. Sometimes I like to bind mine behind my lower back. Sometimes I like to reach it forward as a kind of tripod stand. If you're looking for an added balancing practice, begin to straighten that left leg so you're just on your left toes, and then maybe even lift the left leg a few feet off of the ground, just for fun. This doesn't really add anything, but it's except a fun balancing challenge. So if you would like to stay down, that's perfectly fine. We're here for just 2 more breaths. Can you sink your body even further on top of that right shoulder? If you took the leg balance, come back down. Replant your left hand in the center of the mat, preparing to unwind. Slowly inhale that right arm nice and high, resetting that shoulder. And then exhale, flip sides. Bring the right hand to the center of the mat, reaching that left arm nice and high here. And to hold. Maybe gaze to the right or the left fingertips, adding the neck stretch. Now my hips are moving to the left, so I'm going to bump them to the right. Maybe bend into that top arm, making sure my right shoulder is still on top of that right wrist. This is really intense if you really are moving that left shoulder back and the hips to the right. Maybe roll out the wrists here. Take 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, slowly guide that left arm through and come to rest on top of the left shoulder. Again, the goal here is just to open up into the shoulder. If you're looking for a fun balancing challenge, you can begin to straighten that right leg and even lift it off the ground a few feet. If you prefer to stay down and just focus on the shoulder stretch, that's fine. Either find that basket grip or that lower back grip behind you, or reaching that right arm forward in front of you. Nice. Super strong. If you took the balance, bring your knees back to the mat. Replant that right hand in the center of your mat again, preparing for the unwind. Inhale that left arm nice and high, reset your spine, and then exhale, come back down to a neutral tabletop pose and take a few cat cows here. Inhale, puff up your chest, lift your chin, stick your butt out. For cow, exhale, round that upper spine. For cat, like you're an angry black cat in Halloween. Inhale, up to cow. Beautiful core stretch. Exhale, round down, tucking your chin in for cat. Take a few of these spinal bends on your own time, your own pace. Maybe taking C curves. That means just moving around a little bit as you do it. Whatever feels good is good. We always inhale as we go up in yoga and exhale as we come down. So make sure to inhale on your cows and exhale on your cats. Nice. When you're ready, find the neutral tabletop and then step back so you are entirely on top of your mat. Come to lay on your belly on your mat. Extend that right arm nice and long behind you or to the right side of you. And we're going to do those shoulder stretches we've practiced before. So slowly roll onto your right side using your left leg as a kind of kickstand here. Maybe look behind you, make sure that your hand is in line with elbow, in line with shoulder. You want to create a straight line with that back right arm. Again, the goal here is just to add a little bit of shoulder work. This is a pretty intense shoulder stretch, so take it easy as needed. And then when you're ready, flip back down to meet your belly on the mat and go on the other side. Extend the left arm straight and back. And then come onto the left side, peeling your chest open, using the right leg this time as kickstand behind you. Breathing deeply into it. Sending your breath and your love and your energy to that left shoulder. Nice. One more breath here. Digging a little more deeply into that shoulder socket. And then come back to center. Preparing for seal pose. We're on our bellies now. Bring your legs to the outside of your mat and bring your arms to the outside of the mat, peeling up into seal pose, using your arms to peel up your entire upper body off of the ground into this beautiful back bend. Maybe even lift your chin up nice and tall to add a level of confidence into this posture. Engage your glutes really intensely here. This doesn't feel like a lot. You can always bring your hands a little closer to your hips to add a little more intense of a back bend. Maybe even close your eyes. Hold it here. Feel the energy running down your core through your hips. Releasing any tension storing there. We store a lot of emotion in our hips. It's super important to let that go daily, honestly. Can you sit up a little taller, dig into the heels of your hands a little more? Nice big inhale here. And then exhale, slowly body roll back down to the mat. Preparing for cobra pose. Seal your feet together to touch at the center of your mat. Bring your hands a little closer in towards your chest and do the same back bend here, using your hands to bring your entire upper body off the ground. Definitely engage your glutes here. It's a little more intense in different parts of our body. Feels a lot in my back bend. Breathing deeply, maybe even closing your eyes. Relax into the posture. Send your breath to your hips or your back. Can you sit up nice and even taller here, digging deeply into the heels of your hands? Inhale. And then exhale, slowly body roll back down, all the way down. Create an L with your right hand, a goalpost of your right hand. And let's do those shoulder stretches again. But this time you're creating an L with your right arm rather than a straight arm. And we're going to slowly peel over to the left side, the right side, lifting your left leg up and around. This one's a little more intense than the straight arm, which is why we did a straight arm first. Gets to a different part of our shoulder a little more intensely. We're just going to be here for a few seconds. Just enjoy the stretch. Relax, come back to your intention. What places can you soften? Beautiful. Slowly roll back onto your belly, create that L shape with the left arm, the goalpost shape, and come onto the left side this time, using your right leg behind you. Maybe rest your head on the mat. Maybe even close your eyes, finding stillness, softness, and ease. Beautiful. We're here just for 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, slowly hinge back down onto your chest and your belly and make me an upward facing dog, planting your hands towards your chest, lifting yourself up off the mat. This time both of my legs are off the ground, knees are off the ground, thighs are off the ground. Shining my chest forward again, maybe lifting the chin ever so slightly, engaging the glutes heavier, more intensely. And then let's flip back into downward facing dog, sending your hips up and back behind you. This might be your first down dog it is the first down dog of class. It may be the first down dog of the day, of the week. So take some time here to readjust. Say hello to your legs, your calves, your ankles, bending into one knee and bending into the other. Sending your chest closer to your thighs. Make this a little bit mobile, a little fun. Taking note of any places that are extra tight today. Beautiful. Find stillness whenever you're ready, and let's practice our downward facing dog extreme poses. The first extreme is to bend generously into your knees, so much so that you can push your chest to even touch the thighs. That's the most extremely bent version of downward facing dog. The other extreme is now to begin to straighten both legs entirely, so maybe my chest is even through my triceps or by my shoulders. So you want to find something in between. Take a little bend in the knees so you're able to send your chest towards your thighs, but maybe not so much so that you can touch your chest to your thighs. That's the down dog happy point. From here, keeping your hands exactly where they are, slowly walk your feet to the top of your mat. Hips distance apart, preparing for ragdoll pose. Take a generous bend in your knees, relaxing your head, neck, and shoulders down over your thighs. Find either opposite elbow grip and sway back and forth. We're finding that basket grip behind your lower head, upper neck, and slightly pull to get an additional upper back stretch. Wherever you are, make this a little bit mobile, rocking and rolling left and right, feeling into that lower spine, lower back. Maybe again you close your eyes. Definitely relax your neck and facial muscles. It is ragdoll pose for a reason, so there should be no tension in your limbless upper body or muscleless, boneless upper body. Breathing deeply. It's our second inversion of class, meaning our head is below our heart. A lot of blood is rushing to funky places. Take deep breaths here to reset those bodily changes. Bring your hands to the mat, even if that requires you to bend your knees significantly. Bring your left hand to your right ankle. Grab that right ankle with your left hand and twist open to the right. Bringing that right arm nice and high, bending into both knees, especially the left one, to make this twist happen. Bend into the left elbow to bring your chest even closer to your thighs while also opening up towards the ceiling with that right shoulder. This is pretty intense. Maybe gaze towards your fingertips, sending your energy upward. Take one big inhale. And then exhale, bring both hands back down to the mat. Grab the left ankle with the right arm this time. Reaching that left arm nice and high. Bending into the knees and that right elbow. Looking towards those left fingertips. Whenever you get overheated, like me right now, open mouth breaths to release some of the hotness. Nice. Can you bring your chest even closer to your thighs? One big inhale here. And then exhale, release down to the mat, hands to touch the mat. From here, take a generous bend in your knees and slowly lift up one vertebrae at a time. One big inhale, all the way up to stand. Your head will rise last. Welcome to your feet. This is the first time we're standing completely on our feet. Meet me in mountain pose. Reach your arms up nice and high. Ground down from your feet. Lift your thighs off of your knees. Engage your core by knitting the lower belly in. Engage the glutes, shoulders down, triceps in. And then from here, take a little back bend. Hinge your hips forward. Bring your chest up. Your arms are behind you. In the back bend, connect your palms at the top of the bend. Inhale. And then exhale, forward fold, keeping the palms touch. Bring your hands through heart center and hinge forward over your legs. We're going to do that a few more times. So we're going from forward fold to mountain to back bend to forward fold. So in a big inhale, slowly rise to stand. Bring your arms out behind you to really welcome in the morning. Find the back bend, find the hands touching at the top of the back bend, and then hinging forward, hands through heart center on the big exhale. Beautiful. Take a few of these rotations on your own pace. Everyone's pace, breath, rhythm is a little different. So I'm here just to offer you guidance. But the goal here is to open up into the spine, into the biggest mobility movement we've done all class. Really get into the back bend before you hinge forward into the forward fold, and really get into the forward fold before you hinge upward into the back bend. Take one more full cycle on your own time. And when you've done that, meet me at the top of your mat in mountain pose. Mountain pose. Get nice and strong here. Move all of your weight into your left leg. Kick into the right knee and reach back behind you with your right hand to grab that right foot. You can bring your left arm down now and pull gently just to create a beautiful thigh stretch on the right side, the right leg. Maybe take a little bend in the left leg. Whenever we're standing on one leg or another, you really want to make sure to not overextend the knee. So a soft bend, so much so you can't even really see it in the mirror, is great. Now that we're a little more open in our right thigh, you're going to slowly move your right hand to the inside of your right foot, preparing for dancer's pose. Now I'm going to hinge forward, kicking my thigh up nice and tall. Again, you don't want to hinge your chest so much forward that you're like looking at the ground, but rather creating a back bend with our thigh up nice and high and our chest up nice and high. The more traditional version of this is to also extend your left arm forward. Sometimes I like to keep my left hand on my chest instead for a little more grounding. Your choice. Wherever you are, just keep kicking that left thigh even higher. The goal is not about how high you can kick your leg, but how deep of a back bend you can get. So feel this sensation in your back. Nothing too painful, obviously. One more breath here. And then slowly release the hand to foot grip, bringing the left leg down to meet the mat. Maybe taking a minute to shake it out. Notice how the left leg feels a little heavier than the right does right now. And then bend into the left knee, reaching back behind you to grab that left foot with the left hand. In this pose before dancers, you really want to set it up nice and strong. So make sure you're grounded down in all 4 points of your foot. A slight bend in that right leg so the thigh isn't locking on top of the knee. And you're kicking back just ever so slightly to get a beautiful sensation down your left thigh. Again, always option to stay here and just enjoy the thigh stretch. If you're looking for a little more, adding the back bend and the more intense balancing practice, slowly move that right hand to the inside of, that left hand on the inside of the left leg and begin to go into dancer's pose by hinging your chest forward, not down, just forward, and kicking that left thigh nice and high behind you. Doesn't even have to be that high. You just need to find that beautiful thigh stretch a little more extended. Feel this in your back. The goal is to bend your back. We did a lot of back bends earlier to prepare for this pose. If you fall out of it, come right back in whenever you're ready. Option to extend that right arm forward to grow your dancer's pose, or option to keep it nice and tight, nice and close to you. Whenever I'm in a challenging balancing posture, I like to find one place on the ceiling or the ground or the wall to rest my gaze on, kicking that left leg even higher now that we're a little more open. One more breath. And then slowly hinge forward, back to stand, releasing the left leg down, shaking it out, noticing how hopefully there's a little more balance into both legs. Nice. From here, find a basket grip behind your lower back. Puff up your chest, sending your hips forward and moving those hands away from your lower spine a little bit to activate the shoulder and chest stretch. From here, slowly bend into both knees. Knees and feet are touching here if you're looking for an added balancing posture. And slowly bend down into chair pose, keeping the arms behind you. Chair looks like bending my knees so much so, but not too much, that I can't see my feet. So I want to be able to wiggle my toes off the ground so most of my weight is in my heels. And I'm engaging my core to avoid a duck, but I want a straight back here. And also I'm moving my hands back behind me to activate my chest and my shoulders. If this is too much for you, there are a few options. You can either extend your legs or move your legs a little further apart, open them up a little bit for less of a balance, or you can release the hands and just do the traditional chair pose by either arms up or hands at heart center. This pose just adds a little more to the chest and thighs. It's a fun balancing part. Big breaths here. We're here just for 2 more moments. Can you sink a little lower here? I think you can. And then again, keeping the hands in the basket grip if it's accessible. Slowly spill your chest forward and down into forward fold, straightening the legs to your best ability, relaxing the neck down, bending into the knees as needed. Maybe take a hips distance apart, foot distance now, or maybe keep them nice and tight together, whatever feels good for you today. Just enjoy this really amazing shoulder and chest opener. And then with control, slowly begin to release the basket grip and swan dive your arms down to meet the mat. Nice. Plant the palms down on the mat and step back into high plank and move forward into upward facing dog. Inhale through upward facing dog, shining your chest forward, engaging the glutes. And exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Beautiful. Take a few moments here to readjust into your downward facing dog, bending into one knee and then the other. Notice how it feels hopefully a little lighter, a little more comfortable. Nice. From here, inhale your right leg nice and high. Open and bend and stretch into that knee by bending into the knee, opening up into the hip. Maybe look behind you on the right side. This is a really intense hip opener. Slowly hinge forward and place the foot in between the legs. Bring your left knee back down to the mat and reach up with your right arm for simple twist to the right side. So my right knee is over my right ankle. My arms are in line with each other like a T, and I'm gazing up towards my right hand. We're doing a whole bunch of twists today. Nice. Slowly come up onto your left fingertips so you're not dumping into the left hand anymore. And then maybe even release the left hand completely from the mat and rise up to stand in this kneeling twisted crescent. So I'm giving my right side wall a big bear hug, opening up my arms to the right side of my wall. So we're kneeling crescent with our arms twisted to the right. Then let's move to exalted warrior. So slowly bring your right arm down and lift your left arm nice and high. Sitting lower into our hips. So we're creating a beautiful little back bend here, opening up deeply into that left side body. Nice. Inhale. Exhale again, cartwheel your arms down and forward in front of you, half splits, straightening out your right leg, flexing the right toes. The goal here is just to feel a right side hamstring stretch, relaxing your upper body over the lower body here. If you can't make connection to your mat, it's totally okay. You can stay upright, tall, and proud. As long as you're getting your right side hamstring stretch, you're doing it right. Nice. Sending your breath to your hamstring. Big movement here. From half splits, we're jumping forward into standing splits. So bending into that right leg, pop up onto the right leg, using your hands as balance, lifting the left leg nice and high, relaxing your upper body over your lower body. Pointer flex those back toes. This is the most intense posture we're doing all of class, so enjoy it. Enjoy the head rush, all the blood rushing to your head. This is another inversion. Breathe deeply into it. If you're feeling ambitious, you can bend into that left leg and reach back with your left arm and grab that left foot, bending into that knee, creating a thigh stretch, or option just to stay in standing splits, or option to stay in the half splits. 3 beautiful options. Wherever you are, slowly release the left foot back down to meet the right foot. Plant the palms, and then step back into high plank. One more upward facing dog to downward facing dog rotation. Whew. This time lift your left leg nice and high, bend into the knee, open, bend, and stretch that left side body now. Tons of hip openers. This class feels so good. Breathing deeply. Option to stay here for a long time. It feels really good. Or slowly hinge forward, planting that left leg down onto the mat, or left foot down onto the mat, releasing that right knee down, uncurling the toes, plant the right hand into the mat, and lifting the left arm into simple twist. Tons of twists today, so this shouldn't feel super challenging. Meet your gaze at your left fingertips. Beautiful. So you remember from here, we're gonna go all the way up to stand, but doing it in increments. So slowly come onto your fingertips of the right hand to avoid dumping into the right arm. And then come slowly off of the right hand entirely, and then lift all the way up to stand, hugging the left side wall this time for kneeling, twisting crescent. Nice. You guys look great. Can you sink a little lower into your hips? And from here, tick-tock one more time, lifting the left arm or right arm nice and high, and the left arm drops behind you to grab that inner right thigh, or back right thigh, for exalted warrior. Exalted kneeling crescent. Nice. You fall out of it like me, come back in. These are really funky postures, especially when we're on our back knee. All of this is new. And then when you're ready, slowly hinge forward into half splits, cartwheeling your arms down, straightening that left leg this time, flexing the left foot. Relaxing your upper body over the left leg. Nice. We're coming so close to surrender, the surrender portion of the class. So even now, you can begin to bring a new sense of softness, of relaxation into your posture. You are so welcome to stay in half splits. This is a beautiful hamstring stretch. If you're looking for an additional challenge, we can begin to move on to standing splits by bending into that left leg this time, slowly moving forward, and then kicking that left or right leg nice and high, hinging completely forward over that left leg. Relaxing our head muscles down, using the ground as our guide. The only points of connection here are our left feet and our hands. If you're looking for something more, maybe bend into that right leg and reach back and grab that right foot like we practiced in dancers and the thigh stretch. Big intentional breaths here. This is the most challenging posture of all of class. We've made it just for 2 more breaths. Sending your energy and your love to that left leg. And then slowly relax that right leg back down to the mat to meet the left toes. Plant the hands on the mat. Step back into high plank, your version of chaturanga, upward to downward facing dog. Meet me in downward facing dog whenever you're ready. Last down dog of class, so take a moment to get into it. Notice how it is the most accessible version of down dog you've had all day. And then come to have a seat on your knees, kicking your feet in front of you. Find your way down onto your back, extending your legs nice and long. Relaxing onto the mat. Hug both knees into your chest. Extend the right leg long, supine twist to the right. Slowly use your right hand to guide that left knee across your body. Maybe your back will crack. Staple that left shoulder into the mat. Nice. Close your eyes here. You've made it to the surrender portion of your practice. Thank your body for all it did today, all the little miracles that happened in this practice today. How much lighter you feel. And let's switch sides, slowly come back down to the center of your mat, hugging both knees in to reset the spine. Extend the left leg long this time, and slowly work that right knee across your left side body. Again, prioritize planting that right shoulder down. The left knee likely won't touch the mat. Mine doesn't yet. The goal here is just to release some of the lower back tension that we've been storing up all week. Beautiful. Can you tug a little more, 1 more inch down? Nice. And then come back to center. Hugging both knees into your chest, take a happy baby. Grab for the outer inner sides of both legs, bringing your knees towards your armpits, keeping that lower spine, lower back stapled to the ground. Maybe rock and roll gently left and right. Pretend like you're a happy baby in a crib waking up for the first time this morning. Maybe you try to straighten out one leg or straighten out the other. Have fun with it. It's your last moving practice or moving pose of your practice today. Then gently release the hand to foot grip and wrap your arms around your shins, hugging the knees nice and tight into your chest. Make forehead to knee connection by coming into the tiniest vault possible. Super, super tiny. Inhale. And then exhale, extend your limbs nice and long. Shavasana. Take up space. Shimmy your shoulders underneath your heart to give it a boost. Bring your palms open to accept love and energy, or bring your palms down to conserve it. However you're feeling today, let your hands match it. Close your eyes. Relax any muscles in your face that are still holding on to tension. Just be. I'll read you another Mary Oliver poem called Don't Hesitate. If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give in to it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything, but very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb. With that, slowly bring some life into your fingers or your toes, your wrists and your ankles. Hug both knees into your heart one last time, one big squeeze. And then rock and roll to the top of your mat, crisscross applesauce, facing forward. Bring your hands to your heart center. I'm going to practice something a little fun today. Bring your thumbs, the fingertip, on the insides of, or the outsides of your nose. I'm going to get a little closer so you can actually see me. It's kind of goofy, like this. And then you want to bring them slowly around your lower eyes, the tops of your cheekbones, all the way up to your temples, like that. And rub. Try it again with your eyes closed and digging pretty deeply into the top of your cheekbone, all the way around and up towards your temples. And once you hit your temples, take a few circles. Do it again. This is a really interesting tip that I learned in my psychology of well-being class, and I wanted to share with you that I've been doing this week to calm some of my facial muscles down. Take one more. And with that, bring your hands and your thumbs to your, in prayer pose, bring your thumbs to your third eye center, the space between your eyebrows, and maybe even give yourself a little massage there too. Nice. And when you're ready, we'll say namaste. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. We bow forward and we thank ourselves and each other for our practice. Namaste. Yay.